Welcome to GK Productions. I'm G.
I'm K, and today we're going to be reviewing Striaght Outta Compton.
Film is directed by F. Gary Gray and starring Corey Hawke, O'Shea Jackson, Jason Mitchell, Neil Brown Jr. and Aldous Hodge. Basically the movie is about the controversial hip-hop group back in the 80s, I think it was, called NWA. Who is formed up by Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, DJ Yella, DOC, Ice Cube and MC Ren.
So it kind of starts off from how they were formed, where they got to, the breakup, and it kind of delves into a little bit of their individual careers. Not too much, but it kind of explains how they got there.
Coming out the cinema, I thought I was satisfied. I liked the movie. At times it did feel like a documentary.
Yeah, I mean I enjoyed the movie as well. It did feel like a documentary, but it had an okay flow, and I mean I enjoyed it thoroughly, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean with biopics it's a risk, If a biopic is interesting, then it's going to be a good movie. If it isn't, then it might not be a good movie, depending on the person watching the biopic. But I found it really interesting scenes, especially the scene where the police told them before the concert not to say certain stuff or not to perform in a certain way.
Fuck the police.
Yeah, the Fuck the Police soundtrack. And it all kind of kicked off from there, from the Detroit riots after the concert, didn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I gotta be honest. I didn't know much about the NWA, how they were formed. I mean, I knew of Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and etc. Yeah. But I never knew a background story. So it kind of enlightens you or opens your eyes as well to how they were formed and the struggles they kind of had to go through. And for the new generation of maybe people who don't know nothing about hip hop full stop, or back in that generation, it kind of reintroduces it to them, so that they can go back and do some kind of research into the history of hip hop as well.
What they were doing is kind of just telling stories about what these 5 or 6 people went through while they were living in their neighborhoods, and a lot of people kind of weren't ready for that, but when it did come out, there was a lot that did respond greatly, and that's why they were very, very successful. They were different at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like, the acting wasn't bad in the movie as well. I thought he's the guy that played Eazy-E and Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah,
he played it really good as well. He played his dad really well as well.
I mean, Corey Hawke wasn't too bad as Dr. Dre.
We're taking all that into consideration. My rating for Striaght Outta Compton is a 7 out of 10, a solid 7.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for Striaght Outta Compton.
So our overall rating for Striaght Outta Compton
is a 7.5 out of 10. Cruising in my 6-4.